What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back at it again with another video. In this one, we're going to be breaking down like a Remble type beat in FL Studio. If you don't know who Remble is, I don't know why you clicked on the video, but he's an artist from LA. He's a member of Draco the Ruler's Stink Team, and he's very dope. He's been around for a couple years. I actually just started listening to him recently, though. I think like a lot of people have, and he's really blowing up right now. He just dropped a new song called Touchable. It popped up on my recommended this morning, and I was listening to it. I was like, damn, this is dope. I'm going to make a beat like this. And so this beat was definitely inspired by that. Let's get into it. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. All right, you get the idea. So if you know the song I'm talking about, you'll probably hear the similarity. I didn't just like straight remake the beat, but it's pretty similar. I wanted to shout out the producer who made the beat, but I couldn't find him like tagged in any of the posts or anything for the song. So if anybody knows who made this beat, drop it in the comments. I'll tag them in like the description or something. But anyways, let's go. So I started with this melody. Notice in Remble's music, so some of the like key things I noticed is that his beats are almost always like really simple. They'll usually just have like one or two melodies, and it'll usually be like some dark ambient like bell kind of sounds. So I wanted something similar to the song. So I started with this patch in Omnisphere. It's a love chime. It's in the bells and vibes. And so that's just playing like the whole time. And then I layered that up with this one shot. It's like a tubular bell sound. And that's just playing on the root note. So the root note's A, this beat's in A minor, 95 BPM. And then just added in the snaps. These are just pretty much playing through the whole beat. There's a few parts where it kind of cuts out and changes up and stuff, but it's just your basic snap. I layered two, so I put like reverb on one of them. And so this one's like a little mini snap with reverb, and then I layered it with this one. Next, we came in with the bass. I did like a similar pattern to what's in the actual song, and this is just playing the whole time too. And you could see there's like a few little parts where it cuts out and stuff, but it's just that pattern the whole time. Another thing I noticed in Remble's beats is that he really likes the type of beats where the drums and the bass will come in, and then the kick comes in like later, and adds more energy to it. It's a common thing to do in like a lot of trap beats and stuff, but I noticed like almost all of his songs will have that effect. So I came in with like the drums and bass and stuff first, and then the kick like later on. So next thing I added, we just got the basic little open hat. Nothing special with that. And that just kind of comes in and out too on certain sections just to add in like a little extra sound. And then next thing was the stomp. And that's just playing on the downbeat. And then when you got the little build up, I like doubled it over. And so for this too, this is like a little quick tip. I do this a lot with like a lot of different sounds. But in FL, they got like built-in effects. And so this sounds good on like perks and stuff. I'll use this little stereo delay thing. And you just like mess with this. And it just like kind of widens out the sound. I'll use this on like rim shots and stuff too. And then if you click over to here, there's like a filter on it too. So I messed with this a little bit. And if you mess with these knobs, I mean, just do it to where it sounds good or whatever. But if you mess with these knobs, it'll kind of change up like how the sound, like the texture of the sound or whatever. And then last thing was the hi-hats and effects. And that was the last sound in the drums. I also added in this Nexus piano too. And this just comes in on like the hook. This is playing pretty much like the exact same pattern from the original beat. And this is the Power Grand and Nexus. I think I added a little reverb on it too in the mixer. But yeah, that's basically the full beat as far as like all the sounds. Like I said earlier, like I think Remble's music is like a really good example of beats that will sound like pretty basic until you add in the vocals. Like if you just listen to a lot of his instrumentals and stuff, the beats will sound pretty basic, but when you add in his vocals over him, it just puts it all together and it sounds dope. So it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It's like, I mean, look at the melody. It's like 4 notes. This little counter melody is 3 notes. The bass is like 2 notes. But when it all comes together, it sounds dope. So next I added in these effects. Anyway, so in the original beat, they used the little crow sound. I used this little siren. And I just shortened it so it fits here, and then I pitched it up so it sounds cool. It sounded cool to me at least. And then I added in the little, this sound. And then I just put like a delay on it. Delay's on 4 steps. And so I added in a little build up here. If you don't know how to do this, it's super easy. The little drop. All you do to make these is take whatever drum sounds you want. I'll copy them. And then just get them highlighted, shorten them like that. And then I'll just Control B. And you can just paste them. You can change the length of them and stuff. I show this like every fucking video, but there's always someone who asks like, how do you do that? So it's super easy. But anyways, we added in this effect right here before it drops, and then the little hype drop. Then it just drops into the hook. In the original song, they had like this tape stop effect going on in it, so I added that into the beat too. This is like another like super common effect people always want to know how to do, and it's pretty easy. I use gross beat. You put it on the master channel, and then you just make an automation clip for the time thing right here. Here's how my pattern looks. It doesn't sound exactly how it does in the original song. That effect where it like slows down with the tape stop and then speeds up, I think that's like a thing that people do in Pro Tools, and it's usually something that they add in like later on into the beat, like when they're recording the vocals and stuff. So that's something kind of to keep in mind as like a producer. That stuff sounds cool, like those effects when you put them in beats, but sometimes it can really like throw off the artist and stuff. So don't overdo it with like the tape stops and shit when you're making beats, because that's something you can add in like later on too. But I just wanted to put it in the beat and kind of like show you guys how to do it in FL Studio. And this probably is what took me the longest time in this whole beat, to be honest. I probably messed with this for like 30 minutes. And it still doesn't sound quite like how I want it to, but it sounds pretty good, so I just left it. But yeah, this is how it is. I mean, if you want that effect, you can kind of just copy this. And if you mess with like the, I don't want to change it because it'll sound weird, but if you mess with this, if you click this little button right here and move like the curve of these up and down, it'll like totally change how the effect sounds and stuff. So it's pretty easy to do. Gross beat is super confusing though, to be honest. Like I've been using FL for years and I still don't like understand how gross beat works. But Still though, just mess with it. Use like the curved, like curve the lines on here, and it'll give you like that like scratching kind of effect and stuff. But yeah, I'll go over the mixing and stuff real quick too. And let's get into the mixing real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So I didn't really do anything too crazy. I always say this in like every video with the mixing. Don't overthink it. Don't like overcomplicate it. It ain't that much to it with a beat like this. But all I really did was a little EQ. I do this all the time. I had like 10 EQs on the main melody. Took out some of the frequencies on this one. Added in a little vinyl just to give it like a little more texture or whatever. With the piano, I added a little reverb, another EQ on it. Took out the low end. Like I said before, I put a delay on this effect. And then other than that, I mean, it's all really EQ, a little bit of reverb, you know, and then the leveling. It's really all in the leveling, like making sure that all of the sounds, you want to make sure that all of the sounds sound clear and pretty much as loud as they can when you're doing like a hip hop track, without like losing anything in the mix, if that makes sense. Probably craziest thing I did on the mixing was I put a transient processor on the kick. These are really good plugins. They're called like a transient shaper or transient processor. There's a ton of them that you could use. Another really good one is Native Instruments Transient Master. But basically what this plugin is doing is like shaping the sound of the kick. So I'll play it like before and after. And so it's kind of subtle, but basically what it's doing is like bringing down the attack of the kick. Like you can see on here, it's like that little red line. Excuse me, that little red line is like the volume of the kick. So basically what this is doing is like making the kick a little bit softer when it hits. And so that's just like I don't know, like a preference kind of choice, or it just depends on the vibe of the beat that you're going for, because sometimes you're going to want that kick like real hard. But other times you might want it a little softer. And so this one, like it wasn't sitting with the bass right. And so that's why I used the transient shaper on it. But yeah, other than that, like I said, it's all just like levels, mixing, a little bit of EQ and stuff here and there. That's literally it. For the mastering, I got my Fruity Soft Clipper and then Ozone on here, as always. That's what I always use. You could honestly even do it without Ozone, but I like to do Ozone after the soft clipper because it just brings up like all the perks and stuff in the beat. But yeah, that's about gonna wrap it up. Trying to keep this one pretty quick. If you enjoy the video, if you learned anything from it, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. Please let me know what you want to see next. And until the next one, peace.